Are recording. So we are recording now. All right.
Oh,
Officially.
that's cool. It shows on my side that you're recording.
It says on your side that I'm recording.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we are good. I'm just like making a few adjustments to the screen, and because like I can always edit this time out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you know why I thought it was good that we did Skype instead of Zoom? Because Zoom kicks you out after an hour. I just remembered.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know. All right. Last John. All right. Ready? Three, two, one. So I know we've been wanting to make this video for quite some time on this topic. I know I have at least on the topic of sexual transmutation and semen retention, explaining those concepts, those acts, or what those things really mean. We're gonna kind of like take it apart, look at it a little bit closely, and because I know I was introduced to it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know it was really big in last November. You had that whole no November movement going on, the internet, and that's how I was like kind of intrigued about it. It's just like that phenomenon that was going on. It like kind of caught my interest, and I thought that was very intriguing, very interesting. Like that whole idea. And
Right.
so I took it upon myself to like do a little more research, find out what it really was, what the practice was, and goes back to sexual transmutation and not partaking in any sexual acts.
Yeah. Physically. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it basically is, because I know like one of my really close friends, my best friend, he actually does it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't he doesn't masturbate at all.
That. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to this idea. And so like I know last so I started doing it last year, and then I carried it on more into this year.
Mm.
And yeah, so sexual transmutation, I first came across it probably a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual transmutation and sexual
And
retention are two different things.
different things. Right.
Yeah, so sexual retention, I mean semen retention
Mm-hmm.
is basically you're not masturbating, not doing anything
Right.
that will cause you to obviously release your semen. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So that's just not you're not even having sex, to be honest.
Right.
Okay. And then sexual transmutation with that is basically the energy that you used to waste when you're partaking in these particular you know activities.
Mm-hmm.
You're channeling that sexual energy, and
Yeah.
you're transferring into something
Something
else.
else. Right.
Something else.
I feel with for myself. I feel like in the past, I've always I think sexual transmutation. I think it's one of like the newer terms, right? It's like something that's that's a lot newer. In the past, I've always ran into what I came in contact with in the past was always people that practice celibacy. I feel so celibacy and sexual. I feel like sexual transmutation is like the cooler way to say. For me, it's saying a cooler way to say celibacy is sexual transmutation because I was introduced to it off and on throughout my life, but
Yeah.
I didn't start practicing celibacy until in 2017, literally the beginning of 2017. So yeah, I always thought that was really interesting when I heard the term sexual transmutation. I was like, oh, what is that? And so when you read up on it, yeah, it's literally taking your thoughts and that energy and not let it rather than let it manifest into physical, you're actually putting that into whatever that you want to work on, either being better, um, something creative, spiritual, um, work,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I I decided to practice it because of a marriage that I was prior, and then after that was a relationship, and
Yeah.
then I came to terms to start practicing it because I had to self-evaluate all my past sexual relationships and and so that's how I came to try to figure out, okay, the one common denominator is me, right?
Yeah.
So I had to, that's how I came to term that's how I decided to practice it, was because of that. So
It's interesting, because I feel like when the reason for you starting,
mhm.
for me, it came after.
Yeah.
Like for the reason why I started it is because I used it as a way to level up,
Hmm.
where like I wanted to become more focused and just
Right.
hone in on one particular like thing that I wanted to accomplish. So I was like, you know what, I want to transfer all that energy that I was wasting in that,
Yeah.
and just transfer it over to here, and kind of
Right.
move it over to this particular thing that I wanted to do. But in the process, while I was doing it,
Hmm.
started noticing things, and certain things started coming up.
Yeah.
And so like once I stopped, and then I was doing that, I was feeling more like, yeah, I was feeling more energetic, to be honest.
Right.
I wasn't
Well,
feeling as,
talk about the benefits of it. Like, they have benefits of doing practicing sexual
yeah. So
transmutation.
like practicing, you obviously you get higher testosterone for men. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because you're not expending that, and you just, to be honest, I feel like I was definitely feel more energetic than I was. I have more energy. I feel like this the sense of more clarity,
Yeah. Awareness, right? Like, you
awareness. Yeah,
have.
like you
Yeah.
have, it builds, definitely builds that, and I don't feel like my mind doesn't feel as clouded or
Mhm.
fogged as it used to be,
I agree.
and I also I feel like I have more self control
Because
over it.
because you're like, you could notice it, you pick it up really fast, and then
Exactly.
you could you know um push it away or push it out fast sooner
Yeah.
than before. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are some of the benefits of it, and like a way, to be honest, like I use it as a way to like almost to have that quantum leap,
Hmm.
or that exponential to the exponential to cause exponential change
Change, right?
in a way, because I was like, man, how do you just take that, make that leap from here to here,
Hmm.
but not baby steps, just make that huge leap
Right.
to make a huge impact in my life, where I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I was trying different things, and I heard that, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
So far, it has worked for me like that.
That's
So it
good.
helped me make that, that huge impact in my life.
There's also like when I did decide, because there's also what you said, like there's the retention, sexual retention. So what how I approached it was also the transmutation, but also I was self gratificate, which is, but it wasn't as much as you would think, but also it was more of, I guess you could approach it as more self love of when it was time to masturbate. I guess I could get into that like some other time, but
I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah, right. And
yeah,
so there's celibacy, sexual transmutation, where you are celibate and you're just you're probably not masturbating, because I know that a lot of people ask that. I know I asked that, like, oh,
yeah,
so if you're celibate, do you masturbate? And so, but there is difference, which you also said, which you'll talk later about the retention and the difference, and also the approach about it. So
yeah. So, and I want to kind of take it back a little bit, and talk about like just my journey and my experiences with it. And like, 'cause I know you mentioned how you started off for is because after you got out of your relationship, you want to kind of do more self reflection and kind of like have that time to reflect on your sexual relationship, and not even just that,
Right.
but your relationship just in general with people. And so yeah, so once I started doing it, like probably a couple months into it, I started noticing things like like my reasons for talking to people or dating people. And then I know I talked this. I was talking to you, telling you last night. Like it was crazy though, because I think a couple of nights ago I was laying in my bed and I was like half asleep. I was like, in that stage where you're counting sheep, and then you're like, you're in that middle stage before you go, like you enter your deep sleep, and it just hit me. I had a crazy revelation. I was like, you know what? I was like, I think before this, like when there's a point in my life where I was dating a lot of people. I was dating, and I was talking, quite a few people, and I was like, I think I was validating myself,
Mm.
in by the people that I was, dating. Like,
Dating,
what
yeah.
I'm saying, I was using that to validate who I am and my self worth. And I think unknowing to myself, like deep inside, like that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this too. But it just took me some time to like it to hit me,
Yeah.
and then that's when I realized I was like, dang, I did need to do this.
That fact. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just so I can have that time to be on my own and like and come to that realization that I need to stop that habit
Right.
and that pattern of doing that, having the need to have people, validate me and my self worth, and not use dating, or talking to people as a tool to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's when it hit me. I'm like, dang. So like for me, it came
Yeah.
after the fact
hmm
because I'm
I feel
saying,
everyone comes to it at different for different
yeah,
reasons and
exactly.
different
It
like
hits, yeah,
yeah, and because yeah, like for me it happened instant. Like it was something. Sometimes it's something dramatic, like a breakup. Like or like it was for something else, and then later on, it eventually we start seeing the other benefits. We start realizing the other benefits are um, the other stuff that we need to work on. I guess.
yeah. So when I had that revelation
Yeah.
like a couple nights ago, it was like, it makes sense. It makes sense now. It makes perfect
Do you
sense.
know how hard it is for people to, especially men, to come to that realization, to even to be humble enough to realize that. You know what I'm saying? Or,
Yeah,
or pride. The pride will, or ego. Will
yeah,
keep them from realizing that. Yeah.
yeah, man. And I remember I told you a story. I remember this. I was dating someone around like the same time this year. Um, yeah, we had a really strong connection. We just like we hit it off like right off the bat. And I remember, at this time, like we would do cute little things, like we'd surprise each other. It's like very small things, but and I think that's what attracted me to her
Mhm.
was like she was very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I always look for in a person. Like I want them to be very thoughtful. I think that's a really, really, really key component for me, and that's what attracts me to people. And not even just romantic relationships.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
yeah.
I want like my friends to be thoughtful.
Friends.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And just the people in my life. But anyways, that's what attracted me to the person even more was that they were thoughtful, and then I would reciprocate that. And I remember one day, she told me she's like, "I think you're addicted to love." I'm like, whoa. When she told me that, I was like, "Damn."
Did you?
That kind of like hit like took my wig back.
I know. I know.
Yeah. So at that point when she told me that, I don't think I was ready to hear it.
No.
I
Never.
wasn't. Because that was barely when I was like I was barely like I was I don't think at that point I was quite. I was working towards becoming the better version of myself, and I was working on myself, but I
Right.
was just barely starting. And when she told me that, I was like my ego.
Yeah.
She was like my ego, like
She like thrashed.
quickly just
She like thrashed it, cut it, punched it. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And like what people don't understand is like your ego kind of sets this guard up,
Yes.
will do everything in its power to tell you the opposite and to like kind of justify. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
I what is it? Yes, there's something about yes your ego that it does it lies to you. It makes up situations. It yes I totally agree. Like what it does.
Yeah, and then so when I had that revelation a couple nights ago, immediately what she told me like came into mind. And then I made a connection, and I was like connecting everything. I was like, dang. I was like, wow. I was like, I needed this. I needed this more than I realized. It wasn't just for to make that quantum leap that I wanted to, to like be able to gain that focus. It was to help me, like to help me heal and to change habits and to better myself in the way I was acting before when I was, dating or interacting with people. And like I feel like as males, we tend to do that a lot, where we use women to validate us, to
Yes.
compensate our insecurities and our low self esteem. I would do that, like when you have like a super really 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 pretty girl find you attractive, like that just takes us to the moon and back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
And
when you're continuing to seek that, it's almost like you're using it to validate who you are and your worth. And I was doing that without me really knowing it at that point in time. But once I did, you know, take that oath to myself and that promise to myself is to take this time just to relax and just chill,
yeah.
and do the sexual transmutation. I was like, it helped me make that connection and helped me, realize that I needed to, change the way that I was dating. And at that time, and then I know I told you, I was like, right now, I just want to be by myself. And I'm at that
Right.
point where I don't want to step in the arena or put someone else in the position
Right.
because I'm not ready. Like, I'm like really want to focus and work on myself to better myself. So then I can put myself in a better position. So if I do meet someone further down along the line, like we can start something and it's gonna
Right.
be just completely phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
But also you'll be aware. You'll be clear and aware to see them. You know, like
Exactly, exactly,
to see them, but also see through them and see their spirit and see you'll have better discernment of who they are, and
exactly,
then you'll see that you guys will be you guys are compatible and you guys
exactly.
we can and you just have clear understanding of that. You know.
Yeah, and
But,
I go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna something about ego because I know we've been like just what same thing for me like ego for even for me being gay same thing like ego about just the type of men and what they look like and what they do right and for a living and stuff like that but there's this thing that says like through a spiritual awakening you may begin to see that your ego is playing the game which is like right and then it says
Yeah,
the ego is always creating new desires not based on spirits but like on envy greed anger and fear attainment begins to just start losing the thrill right and so
yeah.
fucking egos like
And it's funny that you bring that up because a while back I heard or I read a very interesting and very compelling interpretation of the devil.
yes let me have it yes
All right, so I'm gonna share that with you guys just because we're on a topic of the ego, and I feel that's kind of important to our
oh
discussion, the topic we're talking about.
I
So
agree
yeah, so it made a very compelling argument, saying that it was using quotes from like Deepak Chopra and a couple other people. I think I may still have it saved, but anyways, I'm gonna paraphrase because I kind of remember very loosely, but it basically made the connection of the ego and the devil, saying that oftentimes like um we think the devil is just this external force, especially like in in religion, how he's personified, and like even right now, like you see him in cartoons and stuff like
Yeah,
that. You see
it's
him
like
with
a
the horns and
big
the
old like, rah, yeah,
yeah, it's like this big old this energy or like this
character,
person
right?
that you're scared of,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But if you realize, like it kind of made it kind of analyzed the devil as it being our own egos and our own reflection. It's like if you come to, it said if you realize that the devil wasn't an outside force outside of us, but it's more inside of us. And
Mm-hmm.
and if you realize that it's actually our own ego disguising it, is playing disguise and disguising itself, telling you that it's actually an outside force impacting you. And I'm like, dang.
Like, what the hell?
That shook that kind of like took me back. I'm like, whoa, like if you it's like almost like the ego's guys
Right.
telling you that it's an outside force. So it can continue
To
to
to fuck
keep
shit up.
yeah, to keep doing what it's doing and keep you out where it wants you in your life. And I did come to the the realization that not we do I think in a sense we do need some ego
Yes.
because
A
that's what drives us
healthy
as human
ego.
beings. Yeah, like healthy ego because that's what drives us as human beings, and that's what drives us to come to these conclusions and to this growth. But when it's when the ego gets to the point where it kind of like it's like the driving and the life force behind your actions and your habits and stuff like that, then that's where you kind of need to
Is a
take a step
problem.
back.
Which is why it's so important. Why that acknowledging that and knowing that is so important in this in this sexual transmutation. You know,
Yeah,
like yeah.
yeah,
Why?
and
Why?
so and
Yeah.
like for me, for example, when she told the girl I was dating at that time told me that it
Mm-hmm.
was hard. It was a hard pill for me to swallow. Was because like the ego's death doesn't come easy, and I want people to realize that it doesn't come
Oh,
easy. It takes a lot of. It's like because when you're changing a habit, it's more than just a habit. It's a belief that you've been telling yourself for such a long time.
ooh, say that again. Say
All right.
that again, bro.
So I'm gonna say that again. So so a certain habit is more than just a habit. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to a certain belief that you've been believing for such a long time that gets embedded and you internalize it and you continue to tell yourself. So what basically we're doing now is we're reprogramming ourselves and we're writing our story, and you're basically starting from scratch,
Woo.
from ground zero. That's what we're doing, and it isn't easy
No.
because you have your ego that's keeping you at times from doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's where all of this gets stored. Your ego and your subconscious mind, it gets stored. And if we don't, you know, take the right actions and do that self reflection, and we spend time with ourselves, then we're never gonna get down to the root cause
Right,
of
bro. I'm just writing
issues.
it down. I'm just writing it down because like
I know that was kind of a lot to unpack.
no, but
Uh,
I mean like I wanted
yeah,
to because that's a perfect now like a perfect way to explain that like
yeah.
no,
And
but
like I'm telling you, so in a way, for me, it kind of did help me make that quantum leap,
mm,
sexual transmutation. Because I'm telling you, once I realized that, I'm like, whew, changed my life. Like even the last couple of days, and I came, yeah. So, and I'm gonna tell you that thought because I heard. So I was like something like around those. So when I had that revelation, I was
mm,
kind of in the back of my mind prior to that, probably last week. think I heard it somewhere, heard it in a podcast. And then it just hit me that night, like a couple nights ago, it just hit me, and now it just like started to just making sense. It
Mm-hmm.
just like that's crazy how like life happens to you sometimes, or you can
Oh,
literally just be lying down and boom.
that's when you know you are you're sensitive. You're now getting you're becoming sensitive to it to where it's starting to you're starting to acknowledge it or see it or feel it.
Yeah,
It may come to you. It may have said to you or happened to you maybe before, maybe a week ago or a month ago. But when you're like centered and you're like literally like in that vulnerable spot, and then it's like boom, like it will come to you. Like yeah, no, I love
and
that.
yeah, and I feel like that's why meditation
Mm.
is for me such an important practice. And I know I talk about it. I
Yeah.
talk about it a lot, but it's just because I feel like it's so important because before that I meditated.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like meditation is such an important practice for me just because you're centering yourself and you're allowing yourself that time to just that time for yourself and to self-reflect and be on your
I
own.
I just remember like a dope saying about meditation. I just remembered about when they
Yeah,
say what I was told was like praying is you talking to God, right? Meditation is you hearing. I think that's how it goes. But
I was gonna, dude. To be honest, before you even said it, I already knew where you were taking. I was like, I already knew where you were taking, and I completely agree. Prayer is you're talking to God. Meditation is you listening to God. It's true. That's what it basically. That's what it is. Because I feel like so much time. I feel, especially Western like religion. I feel like when we pray, a lot of the times it's doesn't come from the heart or soul, in the sense that when we pray, it can be very selfish at times and very materialistic.
yes,
And then when we're meditating, is like it brings us back to humility and connect us back to that because we're not asking for anything.
no,
It's like we're just listening.
bro.
That's all we're doing. And like we're not asking for anything. Like meditation is almost like you're practicing gratitude because you're just I'm happy with just being here in the moment with my thoughts, and that's all I need. And then really like it humbles you, and you come to know humility a lot more when you meditate, and you practice. I feel like you practice gratitude when you meditate.
I'm so, I mean, I got goosebumps. Like facts. That's all I gotta say. Facts, bro. Like
Yeah,
you said it well. You said it. You said it all. So
yeah, and to be honest, like I know transmutation has like I'm telling you, if you guys are really considering doing it, I would recommend you doing it because I know it's helped me, especially like if you're struggling with like sex, you know, I know like the last time I stopped doing it wasn't until like I know we were talking about this the last time I had a like really long break from like sex or anything like that was back when I was I was in the church when I was super religious when I was going to church between like 16 and 18. That's the last time because I wasn't doing anything because you gotta be very pious and stuff like that. And then ever since then I was just like fucking shit up. And then after
yeah.
that I was like I thought like I was like you know what I need to take a step back and reevaluate. And I'm happy I did, because that's what I've been doing a lot lately is
Mm.
taking that time to reevaluate certain values and certain habits that I have and asking myself, like, is this healthy for me? Is this helping me move forward and helping me grow?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Um, same. Like I feel like when I did it, when I originally did it, I was only supposed to be for a year, and then I came to that revelation as well. Like towards the end of that first year, um, and when I realized I got through the summer, I'm doing the holidays, but I also reflect like, oh my gosh, like this is the longest for myself. I've been sexually active since I was 14. Even me going through church, I was still sexually active. And so practicing that for that year was the longest that I've not had sex, and that was like a crazy revelation. Which I think what happened is, and then I ended up turning into almost 2 years. Wasn't planning on to it, but
Yeah.
it happened, and because when I came to that realization, I was like, wow. And also, what also helped me through made it also help was also friends. Like, even though explaining it to friends, and they yeah, there were some that were like, some friends that were like, come on, like, you know, trying to hook you up with somebody, or just jokingly try to do that. But my friends ultimately understood like it, and I feel like when you're going through this, make sure you understand, because you are hanging out when you are hanging out with your friends, and you guys are going out and stuff like that.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
when they are aware, when you let them know, like, hey, like, I'm really practicing this, like, just understand. And they do, they may joke around about it, but when you have people like that around that understand it, and they may be practicing it, or may have practiced it before, it's really good. It will help you through your journey. And my friends did help me through it as well, why it lasted so long, so yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. But yeah,
Yeah.
that revelation is crazy to have when you realize, oh my gosh, like, I'm 14, I'm now 36, and I'm like, or well, at the time was 34, I think 34, 35, and I was like, wow, I have not. That's the longest I've had sex since I was 14. That's crazy. What the hell was I doing? Like, and then you start to realize, oh, okay, there goes the pattern. There goes, why, certain situations and relationships I was in, because I didn't really fully work on that, and
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And back to what like sexual transmutation, and like like I know I mentioned earlier, is basically what we're doing is you're transferring the energy from sex and you put it into something else. And I kind of want to explain that a little bit more and get a little bit going deeper into that. Um, yeah, so I want to explain that what people don't to people is sexual energy is some of the most powerful energy that we create and that we possess. And so now I want to put this in your mind. Like, now imagine if you take that energy and you focus it on something else. Like, instead of actually partaking in, having sex, use that same energy. You're able to channel that energy, bring that energy, and then you're able to use it to express yourself creatively. Like, whether you're working on painting or something, you know what I'm saying? You're able to paint a landscape or do a portrait or whatever you're working on, and you're able to channel that energy and use it to express yourself in that form. Like, for me, like, whenever I'm writing, I use that energy
Right.
to help me to motivate me, you know, and I channel that energy so that I could write and have that same write with vigor and passion, or
Right.
just anything else, dude. I'm not saying when you're even meditating too, you get that you're basically using and channeling that energy so you can meditate and take you to that next, like, transcendental meditation or stuff like that.
No.
And that's what I mean by that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's basically, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe sexual energy is in the root chakra. You can correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
root. Yeah, it's your root,
Yeah.
in your body. No, you're right.
So
It's right in the root.
yeah, it's in the
It's
root
right in your
chakra
groin.
right here.
Mhm.
And now think about when you're meditating, root chakra. So, like, I know
Mhm.
in meditation, if you want to do something to use that energy, I recommend you do this when you're meditating. Close your eyes and really focus on that chakra. Like, really focus on that point, the energy point. And then when I'm breathing, I usually imagine like I'm breathing from my root chakra.
Mhm.
And now when you have your eyes closed, you almost like want to envision like it's a wheel turning. Your chakra is like a wheel. It's like a wheel turning. And what you're doing is you're basically imagining yourself turning that wheel and keep it moving, keep it going, so it can generate that energy. And I'm telling you, it's pretty crazy. It gets.
Yeah, right. When you
You
understand that's
focus.
where, right. When you understand that's
Yeah. When you
where
understand where it's created and where it comes from, that's when you're able to I
yeah,
believe you can purposefully use it and harness the energy to work for you and not you work for it. To work for you.
yeah,
And then once you come to that realization, I'm telling you, it's
yeah.
you better hold your better the world better prepare for you because you about to
No,
make some moves. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
seriously. No, I agree.
And it's not and I kinda wanna do sexual transmutation and kinda expand it and say I know I was telling you this is kinda even not even coming down to sex, but any habit in general
Yes.
that you feel like you like doesn't no longer no longer suits your life or you no longer feel aligned to it. Um, that time that you were using, you were wasting on it.
Hmm.
What if you relocate that time to somewhere else?
Right, right. Do something else.
And, use that time and put it into something else. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Put it to
For sure.
get you good use. Like focus on the things you love.
Yeah. Like it doesn't only specifically pertain to sex. Like
Exactly.
it could be anything that's really hindering you from drugs. It could be um, it could be TV. It could be just anything that's taking you
Let's
away from.
let's let's call it. I'm gonna rename it right here. Right here. It just came to my mind. It's called pleasure transmutation.
Hey,
Pleasure transmutation. Like
I
anything,
like
you know what I'm saying? So and I'm not saying like pleasure is a bad thing,
no,
but like
just
when it gets to the
just like
point where you feel like you're wasting your time and you feel like you're not doing anything
right.
positive or
And it's taking away from like what you should be doing and what you like when it's taking over like
yeah, it's doing
your
more
life.
harm than good. Doing more harm than good. That's the best way to put it.
Pleasure transmutation.
Pleasure transmutation. You know what I'm saying? Using that energy and that time that you were using on pleasure, you're getting it and you're transferring it to someone else, transmuting it to something else. And I know I've done it, like
Oh, for
done
sure.
it with Netflix. Like I remember I used to watch Netflix a lot. Like now I've cut it down tremendously. One thing about me, I love watching movies, man. I love watching, especially if it's a movie with like a message.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially, I really like movies that have like it's like a commentary on society,
Yeah.
whether
No,
it's like racial
it's,
prejudice,
it's,
stuff like that. Just like the whole.
no, like my guilty pleasure is completely conspiracy theories. Like I
It's me too, man. I love conspiracy theories.
like
I'm a
and
sucker
only
for those.
because yes, only because I feel like only because only because like yeah, I feel like at least I like to be in the know. Like it may sound crazy, but at least there's always something. There's always different sides of every story, right?
Yeah,
And so just because whoever came with the final, that's what it is, doesn't mean that's what it is, right? And
yeah.
so yeah, that's my guilty pleasure too. So I get it. Like I love documentaries. I love stuff like that too. I think that's why we're like that's another reason why we connect as friends is because we just we
Anything, to be honest, I like anything that expands my knowledge
yes
and it's teaching me something while it's
yeah
entertainment at the same time. When you bring those both,
entertain
I'm like, man,
right
that's
like
perfect.
I even I was talking to Sammy about like just briefly like we were talking we are like like not cheaters catfish and like those shows catfish, right? Like I don't watch them all the time, but like sometimes I watch like a few shows at a time because I learn people. Like I just learn how people's ways. I learn how I figure like I like to see why they do it, what triggers them, like why these people do that, like do what they do. Like I love uh like seeing learning people and their
Yeah,
ways and their and so like even like stuff like that, like those shows are funny, the reality shows, but I I like to watch them just from some time to time, just because I'm learning different people, you know?
yeah, the dynamics, the relationships, and how people
Yes.
function, and it's funny that you say that because I was out. I actually watched the movie Catfish. It's on Netflix.
Hmm.
I watched it. It was
The
like
guy that the
on
guy that
last.
made it, right?
Yeah, the same guy that made the TV show
Mhm.
has a movie,
Yeah, that's
and
how
where
he started.
he got catfished, and that's
Yeah,
what started the TV
exactly.
series is when he got catfished. Is like, man, what if we do this? And that I think that's a brilliant idea to do.
During MySpace days, I was catfished.
Yeah,
During MySpace days, if
yeah,
for
you're
those
a
that don't know
catfish. Yeah,
MySpace, right? But
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But
But
anyway,
anyways, we got a little off topic, but like, but see what I mean? Like, we all have a guilty
it's
pleasures.
a pleasure. Yeah.
So, but it's just like it's just coming to the realization and you doing the self reflection. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And analyze your life. Like put like I want you if you're having trouble with time management or whatever the case may be, you feel like you're not where you should be in your life, then take a
Yes.
step back. You know, do some self reflection, ask yourself those hard questions. And a lot of times, to be honest, what gets us going and what inspire us isn't the necessarily always the information that
Mhm.
we receive,
Right.
more or less the questions that we ask ourselves.
Right.
And I feel like once we start asking ourselves the right questions, then that's when you are able to make the right changes, because and then that's when you get you get the mind and the
Right.
soul and all that working, and then that's when you start looking for a deeper meaning
Yes.
behind certain things, like behind certain beliefs and certain behavior, and then you start asking yourself like, why is that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then that's when when you start asking yourself the self question, those self evident
I,
truths,
I know those questions. Yeah.
and you know,
No, I totally with that. Like I agree because even when you're going through that process or you're going through that, you're gonna have hard times. Like you're gonna have weak times. But the one thing, like you said, like the one thing that you have to stop when you start feeling like, okay, I have an itch, or like I may give in. You have to realize your like what your goal. It has to be bigger than like what you're about to do. So if your main goal is to become say a white like a better writer, and then you start like, oh my gosh, I have an itch to, I want to go basically go have sex with somebody or something, like you're like getting there, but you have to stop and say, okay, if I do this, if I do go have sex with this person or whatever it may be, or do this,
yeah,
it's going to be instant. It's only going to be instant gratification. It's only going to be 2 seconds versus if you reach this goal, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so much bigger than what you're feeling right there, right? If you do act on what you're not supposed to be doing, right?
yeah,
And so I know that helped me too. So I mean, just to make sure that you whatever that you're going for, or whatever that you're going for, and then something happens like that, where you have to think that that's bigger, greater than this little pleasure that's not going to do anything for you after
and
2 seconds.
to be honest, like that, I kind of like that you added that component to it with self gratification.
Yeah.
And to add that is because a lot of us don't, they want the instant gratification right there
Instant.
and then. Um, but you realize when when we practice delayed gratification, it goes better for us further down the road line.
Perfect.
And it's funny because I kind of want to add this. I don't know if you have you ever heard the marshmallow study. I think that's what it's called, the marshmallow study,
I think I have, but I you have to
and it
share.
has to do with delayed gratification. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to tell that just to kind of like connect the dots and kind of depict the picture. And for so basically, what me and T are saying, instant gratification and delayed gratification. So these scientists, they did a study, did like an experiment on kids. So like, all right, they're gonna tell a group of kids, all right, we'll give you a marshmallow now.
Mm-hmm.
They told this to a group of kids. If we give you a marshmallow now, um, but it said we'll give you one more marshmallow now, but if you wait, we'll give you two.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, majority of the kids like, come on, man, of course I'm gonna get my marshmallow now. Like I don't care if I get two later. Right. So yeah. So like certain percentage of that, I think majority of them got they took the the first first part of the deal, like, all right, we'll just take our marshmallows now. I don't care if I get to later. And
Mm-hmm.
then the very few, they're like, you know what, I'll wait because like if I just wait a little bit, I get two marshmallows.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
they did. They waited, and here the kids are. For the first group of kids, they eat their marshmallows, and now the other group, they get after they wait, they get their two marshmallows, and as they're eating two marshmallows, that group
So
looks at them and like, I should have waited.
should have waited.
I should have waited because I would have got. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like how life plays for us. You know what I'm saying? Where like a lot of times we want the instant gratification, but with that instant gratification, a lot of times comes with a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just back to to tie it to your story, how like when it comes down to sex and the instant gratification, where some part of us doesn't want to do it because we know how shitty we will feel after. We won't feel good about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We won't hold ourselves, you know, to a higher standard, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the circumstances will be. If you know what I'm saying, if you're doing it with someone who you don't even want to do it with, but it's because
Right.
you're that urge,
You have that urge, right?
that needs to be scratched type of thing. You do it, you partake in it, but then once it's done, you're like you don't feel too good. You're like, man, it wasn't even worth it. Like, why did I even do it?
Right.
And it's funny too because I know my best friend, he's told me that sometimes where he does it with where in the past he would do it with some people. It's like, bro, it's like we didn't even have a connection, but I feel like I was just doing it just because
Let's just do it.
to, like, scratch
Yep.
that itch. And I was like, and then obviously now we see it. Now that we're older, we've seen a whole different line, a whole different story. We realize like there's more to it than just than just the physical. It's like there has to be the emotional connection that you have with the person, spiritual connection. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more chemistry, compatibility. So now that we take those things into consideration to evaluate and to make our obviously our final conclusions of whether we want to build something with that person, it takes on a whole different meaning.
Right.
Now it's just more than just having sex. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's what I mean. So like now when you ask yourself before you even commit the act, not even with just sex, just with anything, like with even with a bad habit, like if it's with food, like eating, that donut, eating, pizza, whatever it is you may be struggling with, like you gotta before you do it, I want you to ask yourself, is it worth it? Like,
Yep.
yeah, you may be, yeah, at that moment that you're eating the pizza or you're eating donut, you're like, damn, this is so
Oh, right.
worth it. Like, but then after, how are you gonna feel? Like
Right.
you're gonna feel shitty by yourself. You're gonna put yourself down. You're gonna have that self judgment come back. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna resurface, and it's gonna be a lot worse as opposed to, you know, if you just withheld yourself and practice delayed gratification and see the positivity if you withhold from partaking in whatever it could be, and realize like the have the end in mind.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to use. Have the end in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ask yourself, like, before you even do it, I'm going to use the donut analogy. Before you eat the donut, ask yourself, all right, I'm gonna kind of play it out like as if I'm going to eat the donut. Ask yourself, like, if I eat the donut right now, yeah, it's going to be bomb. But if I wait, because I'm obviously my goal is I want to lose weight, whatever it is, I want to be healthier. I'm going to have the end in mind. I'm like, all right, if I don't eat it, I'm be I'm gonna be more happier with myself because I'm practicing discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm practicing that muscle, and not even that. I'm practicing integrity because I'm holding myself to that high standard that I set myself. So if I eat that donut, I'm basically lowering that standard, and then I'm not being true to myself and to my word. So if I eat that donut, all that's gonna go out the window,
Out the
and
window.
then
Yeah.
I'm not gonna feel good about myself, and
Yeah. You have to start it all over, almost,
and you have to
basically.
start all over again. So it's having that in mind to help you make those decisions. So it's not just about quickly making this decision on the spot. Like I know one thing that I kind of used when I was drinking, when I was using to stop drinking, I used it. I was like, is it worth it? I'm
Yeah.
like, no, because to me it's like I'm be hungover the next day. I'm gonna be feeling shitty. Like and then when I'm hungover, I'm eating like the worst food. Like I'm eating greasy food to help because I feel like I know when I'm hungover, I like to eat
Yeah.
greasy food. Like yeah,
Chicken, pizza, anything greasy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it just throws off my whole schedule, and then I'm gonna be tired because like now like when we're older, like I'm not 21 no more, I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
28, and so when I'm hungover, it lasts like a couple days. So,
Oh
like
yeah. Recovery process is the
and
bounce
I'm like,
back.
man, and then it's like I'm not gonna go into my week feeling energetic, coming in with that energy. You know what I'm saying? And so like I had to ask myself, is it really worth it? And I'm like, it's like no, it isn't. So I'm not gonna do it. And then using like tactics like those and those techniques to help you practice delayed gratification, to help you achieve your goals and making like those life changes. And like if you want to change a certain habit, is you using those kind of techniques to help you, like before you. And that's what I think is being is it comes down to being impulsive, and like you always want to you want to be
Right.
impulsive, you want to just make a decision right there and then act in response. It's taking a step back,
Yeah.
stopping yourself in your track. Like you don't need to make a decision right there and then. You don't need to respond. You can think about it thoroughly inside your
Right.
mind. If you're like out with friends, like you don't need to like you can do it literally in your mind without
Right.
anyone knowing. And just think about your decisions that you make and think about the outcomes. Like and ask yourself, like, is it gonna be worth it? Are you gonna be happy with yourself making that decision after you make it? And if the answer is like, do you have more to lose than to gain when you make that decision?
Decision. Yeah. And
And if
honestly, it helps you with your patience too. It helps you
yeah,
with your patience.
and if the answer is like, damn, I have a lot to lose and it's not worth it, then
Yeah.
most likely it's not the
Right.
best decision for you. I'm telling you, it's like you just have to weigh your options out. And that's like something that I had to do because I know when I was younger, I was like always just like I just want to have a good time. You live in that, you want to live that life,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it wasn't about asking like stopping myself. It was just making impulsive decisions. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Just responding in the moment
Right.
without taking. And then now that you get older, you get a little bit wiser. You
Start to
start
realize.
realizing
Yeah.
the importance of like stopping and analyzing things and like taking things a little bit more serious than you know. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that like practice delayed gratification. That's another good thing about sexual transmutation and semen retention helps you build that delayed gratification. Realizing that you know even though it may not come right now, it will later.
And later. Yeah.
Well, later. At least it'll just be for a certain period of time. Like me, it's gonna be for a certain period of time. I just want to get to where I want to be in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm using it to help me, make those necessary changes and make that exponential change that I'm after. Like and even just I know that I took a break for the last 2 weeks from my Instagram, and I was telling T, I was like, dude, I feel like I got a lot done.
Dude. Yo, like, yes, your blog, like that piece, bro. Like, yeah, you
Yeah, so
could tell you're a sexual you
yeah, so that whole time I was doing sexual transmutation,
that
and
blog,
I
yeah,
feel like I was doing pleasure.
that,
Like I wasn't waste spending my time on Instagram instead of doing
right,
that. I was allocating that time and put it into something else, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I've been wanting to write, but I just haven't. I wouldn't say I did have the time, but I wasn't using it how I wanted to use it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was constantly being distracted by things here and there. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna. I think I know what I need to do. I was like, I need to take a break
right,
from social media, so I can use that time to focus and and just write. And that's what I did. And not even just that. Like I enrolled into Jay Shetty certification program so I can become a life coach. Is something I've been wanting to do for a while. So look out because I will be mailed the life coach pretty soon, not just the motivator. So yeah, so just to add on
yeah,
to everything that I want to build, with everything that that me and T started, is just adding on to another
yeah.
thing I'm saying.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking because remember when you were writing, you were like when you were expressing like everything you were feeling, just how you were feeling, and I was thinking about heightened state of awareness,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's what I think when you were telling, like that's what I was thinking when you were telling me just where you're at right now, and I'm like
Yeah.
so like happy, like I'm so happy to see it, to witness it, and to hear it, and I don't know, I just wanted to say that because I literally have that on my journal, like
Thank you. Thank you.
when you were like literally like that state, that heightened state of awareness is like bliss, like when you experience that, it's you can't it's you can't really explain it. I mean you can, but to feel it, it's awesome, and I feel like that's where like hearing you during that phase, like you like going in, man, like
Dude,
good
I'm
voice.
telling you, I enjoyed every bit of that piece, and it's my favorite piece so far.
Yeah, no,
It's If you guys haven't had the chance, go to my blog, mailthemotivator.blogspot.com. You can check it out. It's called "The Cries of the Youth." Um,
Ooh,
I'm saying that title was like I think the title was perfect for it. Is "The Cries of the Youth." Self what was it? I think attention seeking and validation.
exactly.
That's the subtitle of it. Um, yeah, so I just and in that blog, I just really get into understanding like our generation,
Hmm.
and I think the younger generations too, growing up in this
Especially
growing up in this climate. There's so much going on, and how we use social media, like Instagram, Snapchat, and stuff like that, for attention
yeah,
and um and for validation. But I'm kind of going a little bit deeper, just from my own life experiences,
I
and
mean
realizing
hella deep.
that, yeah. So like I know it's social media and Instagram, they get a lot of backlash, and they get a lot of criticism, and I think to a certain point it is true. Like I feel like it can be very very negative, but it's just with anything technology in general. It can be we can use it for atrocious acts. Like we can use it to do terrible things, but at the same time, it all depends what lens you're looking at it from.
Right,
And what I realize is, if you're not in the right state of mind, social media can mess you up.
big time.
It can mess you up big time. And like I remember hearing this once in a podcast, and I forgot who it was, but they said social media is like a loaded gun.
Facts.
And that's true. And that's how power like that statement is powerful. It's like a loaded gun, in the sense that it's up to you to to come to the it's up to you to use it properly.
Mm-hmm. Somebody gonna use it for, right? How are you gonna use
Yes,
it?
like when you give someone something like the social media, who's suffering, or who's
Oh,
dealing with anxiety, depression, has self-esteem issues, um the list goes on, dude, who lacks self-worth,
mm-hmm.
who's been sexually abused. Like social media is just gonna trigger all that, and
Oh,
it's gonna come to surface.
it's gonna be a live journal of all that.
It is, and I talk about some of that in the blog, and I'm like, if you're not in the right state of mind, I don't advise you
Mm-mm. Stay
to
away.
to open. Like I'm not telling you don't,
Right.
but from my experience, and seeing other people, and just knowing how social media works, it feeds off validation, and attention seeking, because that's how they make the money. Like that's how they basically want you to stay on there. So the algorithms are built, want to keep you hooked, and it can become addictive. Um, so yeah, so like I highly advise you, if you're dealing with things like of that nature, is take the time to heal yourself, and take the time before you even start, social media or even get into that world. Because I'm telling you, if you're not in the right state of mind, like it can like I'm telling you, it can press your buttons and it can make you feel like you're nothing.
Right. I agree.
Because you're constantly gonna be seeking that validation. Like, wow, who like those likes, who commented my page, or why am I not as pretty as so and so? You start
Yeah.
comparing stuff, and you're just gonna go down that hole. That you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you really do have to be grounded, and
Be
you really
grounded,
have to be
secure.
secure about yourself and
Yeah.
confident who you are. Because if you're not, social media will just
Bring
chew
things.
you up and spit you back out.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
and like to be honest, like I don't think I think it should be a thing where you're like 18 and older. Like it shouldn't be for little kids.
Dude.
And that's just my opinion.
I
Because
agree.
when you're younger, you don't have that self-esteem, you don't have
Yeah.
that confidence. You're very vulnerable and your
You're,
mind is very malleable, you know what I'm saying? And then when you give someone that kind of like
it's giving them false. It's giving them just false. I just can't even think of the word, but yeah, it's not. It's not exactly uh, who they should be or what what they. I can't think of the word right now, but it's false. Whatever it is, it's false. Like for the kids, I'm constantly looking at my little cousins and on my at their pages and stuff, and I'm constantly on them. Like if I see something.
yeah. And to be honest, like if I had kids, I wouldn't allow
Oh,
them to have social media, not until like they're 18.
I agree.
You know, and like I'm saying that the only reason why I even made it count was because of what I'm doing.
Oh, great.
And, and I'm using like I feel like if we use it for more as a more a platform to encourage each other and create something positive, then I'm telling you this we can do some amazing great things with this platform. And I feel like we are like I feel like things are changing. Very change is very slow,
Mhm.
but at the same time, change can be very quick. It can be either
Yeah.
or. I feel like when you're trying to create you change like the social climate, it's very slow because I'm telling you, it's more than just think about how many people are on this world.
Right. Like trillion,
You know,
billion.
human beings have been programmed a particular way for thousands and thousands of years, and now basically what we're trying to do now is we're trying to rewrite that programming, and in order to do that you have to basically reprogram rewrite years and years and years of what's it called, it can be violence. You think about people who've dealt with certain atrocities, you basically have to deal with all that.
Yeah.
Because I strongly believe that specific word that is generational trauma. It gets
Yeah.
passed down from generation to
Nation.
generation.
Okay.
Just thinking
Mm-hmm.
about the Holocaust, that gets passed down. Like I feel like people who experience that pass it down to their kids, and then it just keeps on until you become the person in your family, or wherever the case may be, and you
So,
choose not to let that hinder you anymore. You know what I'm saying? Even with like slavery and stuff like that.
yeah.
you know so it's like certain things, like it goes deep, man. And then when you're trying to cause like a huge change to the system, it takes time.
Trying to break the cycle. Yeah.
Trying to break that cycle,
Yeah.
that generational curse. There you go. You're trying to break that generational curse that's been that was written way back then, and that that you feel that you may be carrying, your family may be carrying,
Yeah.
you're trying to break that. And it's hard, man. Sometimes it's a lot of work, and it takes time. It's not something that you just
Instant. Right.
snap like your fingers and instantly change.
We wish.
Yeah, we wish, but it's a process, and I feel like it's something that we don't ask for. It's just like handed to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's our choice
Choice
to
to
change,
choose.
to become like, to decide whether we want to continue it
Right.
or want it to end with us. I'm like,
Us.
I'm
Right.
gonna make sure it stops with me, and then my
Put
kids
the
don't
work to do it.
experience it, and it
And
doesn't keep passing on.
right. And yeah, and put in the work to do it and and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So and like I'm saying, like I know you were talking about heightened awareness, um,
Yeah.
and I feel like sexual transmutation heightened my game even more.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me build awareness, um, to be where I want to be. And I know my word for this year, this whole year, I came into 2020 with this word in mind was clarity.
Mm-hmm.
20, because think about 2020 vision, 2020
Funny,
mission.
funny. Mm-hmm.
I want to have clarity of who I want to be, and clarity of where I want to take my life to, and where I see myself, like who I on the clarity with the decisions I make. Just that's like my word for this year was just clarity. Like that's what I want to have. Is I want to have clarity, because when you have clarity, everything becomes so much easier.
Easier. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Everything becomes easier. So it's funny that you say that. Like you told me like you said like it's cool. It's seeing how high your awareness is now, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of it has to do was because my focus has been on clarity.
Shifted. Yes.
Shifted.
Yeah.
It's like my clarity, and and a lot like I'm telling you, a lot has changed in my life where from where I used to be now to where I am now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool. And then I'm like very happy where I am right now, and realize that it's changing. It's
Yeah.
changing constantly from one day to the next, and I try not to be attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I experience things as they go, and I feel like that's why I'm so much happier. Is because like I ask myself, that's my goal every week or every day is how I can how I can live life presently. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when if you want to live life to its fullest and to its fullest potential, is ask yourself, how can I be more present?
Right.
Because you realize that you're only really, and I know this may be cliche, but we're only promised like right now,
Yeah.
like right this moment. Like I really don't have, like you really don't know if tomorrow's promised.
Exactly.
So I know with that in mind, I think if we've. I don't want. Do you have anything else to say? Anything you want to share?
No, I just no, just thank you for like yeah, this is I know when you had brought it up, I think months ago, right? Like it had
Yeah,
to it was like
yeah,
months ago, and I was like, yes, like I was like for sure. But yeah, just thank you for having me on this. But yeah, maybe next time, like well, probably next time, I want to hear the retention part. So maybe that could be just another video to talk to get
yeah.
in
We can
depth
we can
about that.
do. Yeah, because I know we spent a lot of time on sexual transmutation. Um, yeah, we can spend more time on semen retention next time. If you guys have ever have anything, any feedback, both positive and negative, any like criticism you guys want to, I'm always open to it. Or if you just want to say, yo, please share your stories. If you ever had any experiences with doing this, if you do practice it, I would love to hear, the other people's experiences with this and how it's impacted your life. Or if you want us to talk about a particular subject or topic, just shoot me a DM or even a comment when
Yeah.
we post this. I'm gonna be posting this in segments because it's like an hour and some minutes.
Oh yeah, we talk. Like we talk.
Yeah, so I
You
kind
know,
of knew it was
yesterday
gonna
our
be
video
long.
video yesterday was also like almost like an hour and a half just
Yeah,
talking.
so we kind of we did like a little prep talk prior to this, and we were literally on the video call for like
Hour and a
over
half.
an hour. Yeah, hour and a
It
half
was like,
easily. But like yeah, so stay tuned. I will be working on a new blog post. This one I'm actually really stoked about this one. I think this one's gonna be my new favorite blog post. Just because I love the title. So I'm gonna share the title with you guys is my mission to be unapologetically dope.
nope.
That's the name of the title. And what inspired me to write this, and what inspired the title, was I was watching this special for Dave Chappelle. If y'all don't know, Dave Chappelle is like one of my all-time favorite comedians.
Mhm.
That man is not only a genius when it comes to comedy, but he is a brilliant mind. Like, this guy is smart as fuck. I feel like that's why he's funny, is because his jokes are brilliant. His jokes, like, he's not willing to speak his he's not afraid to speak his
Great.
mind.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I like and I appreciate that, especially like in today's climate. It's kind of hard to find someone who is that honest and that open.
Because he's like logically like his mind is like when you think you're like it's crazy. It's funny. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, and just how like everything nowadays, like people want to be politically correct. It's like almost you have to walk on eggshells. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a whole different subject. So yeah, so that's where inspired it. So I was watching a special, and like towards the end, it shows him. He was on the stage of, like, I think his music school in where he lives in Washington. Yeah, he lives in Washington. He lives in DC, I think, something like that. And on his shirt it says "unapologetically dope."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's dope. I like that phrase. Like, that's if I could find that shirt, I would buy it.
Oh, dude, just find it right now.
So I read his shirt, and then lately I've been reading Seven Habits of Highly Effective People,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been talking about writing your mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, write a mission statement of like, your mission, like your purpose of life.
Mm-hmm.
Write it, and then print it out, and then frame it, and then put it somewhere where you can see it, and then you can constantly be reminded of your mission in life.
Mm.
So I was like, so in a way, I was like, you know what? And it just sparked that idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a blog post where I'm gonna show you all how to write a mission statement.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm gonna express myself on my mission in life and my purpose at the same time.
Same time. Yeah. So we can see that process. Yeah.
So you can see that process, and I can walk you through it. Because like a mission statement, you only see like businesses do it, but like, have you thought about it? Like, write one for yourself so you can remind yourself, you know, of your goals, or the end in mind. I want to go back to that. It's the end in mind, like your mission, because the mission is more than just about yourself. It's bigger than that.
Right.
It's impacting more than just your life. You're impacting everyone, and I feel like that's when you think about a mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about a movie, when the superhero takes on a mission, is more than just himself. It's to save the world, or what I'm saying, stuff like that. So so just keep that in mind. So like in that blog, I will be breaking that apart and kind of taking a really cool spin on it. And my mission to be unapologetically dope. Just when I saw that and I read it, and kind of like what everything Dave Chappelle stood for, you know what I'm saying? Everything in that phrase in itself, was like, it's just being yourself, like, without, you know what I'm saying? Because to the core, like, I feel like each and every one of us is dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you come to that realization, and you just are, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't judge, like, when you move past that self-judgment, and you move past, valuing other people's judgment of you, you're able to be yourself, and you're able to.
When you embrace everything about yourself, you embrace it. The good, the bad, the things you still need to work on. When you embrace that, and you hold on to that, like, doesn't really matter what anybody else say.
And you give permission to other people to do the same, and then you inspire other people to do the same.
Yep.
It's like how Dave Chappelle inspired me to write this piece, and to be honestly spoken, be honest with people. You know what I'm saying? and I feel like this piece is gonna be really really good, and I know you guys are gonna enjoy it. So I'm gonna be working on that probably the next couple weeks because I've come to realize it takes like the writing blog part of it. It's a little bit more of a process
Mm-hmm.
just because I like writing in pieces. Like I write a bit whenever I can,
Yeah.
and I like going back, rereading it, and I kind of analyze it, and I feel like is this sentence or is this paragraph
Portraying like what you.
reflection,
Yeah.
reflection, an exact reflection of what I think and what I believe. And if it is, I leave it. If it isn't, I erase it, and
Yeah.
I try to write something else that's more aligned to my values and beliefs, and what I'm thinking at the moment. But anyway, so yeah, so it's a little bit more of a process, so it takes time, but but like the end product is dope. So if
Yeah.
you haven't, in the meantime, read my new blog. It is called "The Cries of the Youth: Validation, Seeking, and Attention." It's a really good one. Like I said, it's pretty long.
But
It's
it, no, I
it's
mean,
it's
yeah,
really.
yeah, it's worth the read. Yeah.
But anyways, thank you all so much. Hope you all have a blessed week. Whenever you see this, whether it's Monday morning, Tuesday night, or some other day throughout the week, I hope you guys have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Make sure to check in with yourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, and then just make shit happen, man. Just hit the ground running as soon as you gotta go. It's simple as just doing it.
Yeah.
Start with the first step, and just go after it. I know sometimes we're doubtful and we have a lot of fears. Um, but even with those fears, you gotta still act. And I think
Yeah. Do it with fear. Do it with
yeah,
fear.
do it with fear, and you'll soon realize that fear will be transformed into confidence once you realize how good you're at, or if whatever it is you're doing it. You may not even be good at it at first,
Mm-hmm.
but the more you do it, the more good you're gonna get. Y'all got to start somewhere. Like we're not all born overnight gifted in a particular area. It takes work. Even Kobe Bryant didn't wake up one day,
Right.
came out the womb a baller. You know what I'm saying? Like before he even became a champion or a legend, you know,
He what?
when he first started playing basketball, he sucked. Like what I'm saying? I remember I was watching an interview with him. He says I didn't score any points my first game. But after that point, when I had that, he's like, I practice every day.
Yeah.
And
Practice
that
before games. Like it's great.
greatness is something that you create each and every day, and something that you build towards each and every day. You know what I'm saying? Rome is not built in one day, guys. So with that being said, love you all. Wish you all peace and love. Take care, and we out. Peace.